Readers, we are coming to the end of the story. What do you think will happen next? I'll give you some time to think. In the first place, the man on the loudspeaker is clear as a bell now, but then he pauses and the loudspeaker starts to whine, then static, and I lean down to catch my breath, and here comes Gretchen walking back, for she's overshot the finish line too, huffing and puffing with her hands on her hips, taking it slow, breathing in steady time like a real pro. And I sort of like her a little for the first time. In first place, and then 3 or 4 voices get all mixed up on the loudspeaker, and I dig my sneaker into the grass and stare at Gretchen, who's staring back, we both wondering just who did win. I can hear old Beanstalk arguing with the man on the loudspeaker, and then a few others running their mouths about what the stopwatches say. Then I hear Raymond yanking at the fence to call me, and I wave to shush him, but he keeps rattling the fence like a gorilla in a cage, like in them gorilla movies. When, like a dancer or something, he starts climbing up nice and easy, but very fast. Then it occurs to me, watching how smoothly he climbs hand over hand, and remembering how he looked running with his arms down at his side, and with the wind pulling his mouth back and his teeth showing and all, it occurred to me that Raymond would make a very fine runner. Doesn't he always keep up with me on my trots? And he surely knows how to breathe in counts of 7, because he's always doing it at the dinner table, which drives my brother George up the wall. And I'm smiling to beat the band, because if I've lost this race, or me and Gretchen tied, or even if I've won, I can always retire as a runner and begin a whole new career as a coach with Raymond as my champion. After all, with a little more study, I can beat Cynthia and her phony self at the spelling bee. And if I bug my mother, I could get piano lessons and become a star. And I have a big rep as the baddest singer around, and I've got a room full of ribbons and medals and awards. But what has Raymond got to call his own? So I stand there with my new plans, laughing out loud by this time as Raymond jumps down from the fence and runs over with his teeth showing and his arms down to the side, which no one before him has quite mastered as a running style. And by the time he comes over, I'm jumping up and down, so glad to see him. My brother Raymond, a great runner in the family tradition. But of course, everyone thinks I'm jumping up and down because the men on the loudspeaker have finally gotten themselves together and compared notes and are announcing in first place, Miss Hazel Elizabeth Deborah Parker. Dig that. In second place, Miss Gretchen P. Lewis, and I look over at Gretchen wondering what the P stands for, and I smile, because she's good, no doubt about it. Maybe she'd like to help me coach Raymond. She obviously is serious about running, and as any fool can see, and she nods to congratulate me, and then she smiles, and I smile. We stand there with this big smile of respect between us. It's about as real a smile as girls can do for each other, considering we don't practice real smiling every day. You know, because maybe we too busy being flowers or fairies or strawberries instead of being honest and worthy of respect, you know, like being people. The end. Thank you, readers.